Welcome to another edition of our StaySmart newsletter and podcast, brought to you by Viciniti Corporate Housing, where we try to keep you updated on what we see happening in the industry, whether that's corporate housing, destination services, business travel, short-term rentals, anything that we think is going to be relevant to you and to your company. It's a cold and blustery day, cloudy day here in Kansas City after the Super Bowl loss, so I'm actually doing this indoors today, so I'll just go ahead and jump right in. The first one is about Dwellworks and Quartz. This came out last month. The announcement that Dwellworks was acquiring Quartz destination services business starting the first of this year. I think this makes a lot of sense for these two companies to kind of focus on their core business model. I think it'll be really interesting to see this partnership moving forward. And then we have an article about Reside, the Wyndham Residence. They had announced their expansion of that brand, the Reside Wyndham Residence, into Washington, D.C. They were already in Seattle and Houston, so they announced these two new buildings in D.C., an 81-unit building and a 67-unit building. And they're looking at New Orleans and then expanding into 50 U.S. markets throughout the next coming years. So interesting to see the expansion of this brand, kind of a blending of, we see corporate housing, midterm rentals, short-term rentals. Reside's been around a long time, a really big player in the corporate housing industry. Obviously, we're doing a lot of B2B business. This looks like they're trying to get a little bit more of that short-term rental business, whether it's leisure travel or business travel. I think this makes a lot of sense. So it'll be interesting to watch this brand kind of over the next couple of years. And the next article, kind of in a similar vein, is Alta Vita, which is a tech-enabled company, corporate housing agency. They announced that they were launching this self-service version of their booking tool, their Altaverse tool, which had been just for enterprise clients, kind of B2B business, and they're offering this as a self-serve version that I'm assuming direct-to-consumers are going to be using. Again, this is kind of, I think, we're seeing corporate housing or short-term rental, midterm rentals going from B2B and really looking at getting more direct-to-consumer. So interesting information there about Alta Vita and their new tech tool for direct-to-consumers. And then finally, again, kind of in this same vein of short-term rental, corporate housing, Placemaker, which is a member of CHPA, they announced their new brand, or the Continental powered by Placemaker, launching next month in San Antonio. It's previously a historic hotel, the Continental Hotel, that's converting into 28 furnished apartments next month. That'll be rented out, short-term stays, midterm stays, long-term stays. Again, kind of that blending of corporate housing, midterm rentals, hotels. Really interesting to see. Placemaker's been expanding over the last couple of years with similar projects like this, using the tools, the tech tools that they have powered by Placemaker. Really interesting to see how this will work. A lot of interesting articles here this week. If there's anything that you'd like to hear us talk about or include on this podcast, please let us know. I'd love to hear your feedback. But that's what I see transitioning this week. Take care, everyone.